Good afternoon, YouTube. So Marcos here with the F word. We're talking about the F word again. That is intermittent fasting or fasting. We are using we're using intermittent fasting. And this is sort of like a video log to document intermittent fasting using ketogenic diet when we do eat, and to document how much weight loss we can really experience, and so let's talk about the results between yesterday when I made my first post and today. This is day 2. So I weighed myself in the morning, and I was a little dismayed because I hadn't made that much progress. I was at 308.6, and then yesterday, and then today I was at 308.4. So not quite half a pound. And I thought to myself, I'm still doing a 20 hours of fasting. Now I ate whatever I wanted to yesterday. And as I mentioned, we're going to be moving into a ketogenic diet today, and then gauging those results tomorrow. But so when I weighed myself this morning, I was a little bit dismayed with just under half a pound of weight loss. But and you guys are going to know this about me. I'm just going to speak, plainly, and I'm a real person, so I cuss a lot. So if that turns you off, then find another channel. But so I hadn't taken a shit yet. It hadn't occurred to me. So after I got my coffee, which by the way, in most people, coffee will get things moving, so to speak. I'll be damned if I hadn't lost overnight a pound and a half, So I'm now in the 306 and change range, 306 and a half. And I'm just shocked, man. I just shocked. It's the afternoon now on day 2. I still haven't eaten anything. I don't really feel hungry, but I'm approaching my feed window, and I'm looking forward to it. Pretty much right at 6 o'clock. I'm going to make some eggs today. Eggs have the proper balance of proteins and fats. Almost they're tailor-made for the ketogenic diet. So if you eat eggs, or if you don't have like an allergy to eggs, or if eggs are on the menu, well, guess what, motherfucker? The egg is the perfect food for a ketogenic diet. So yeah, people are gonna talk about cholesterol and this and that, and to eat enough eggs, I'll probably eat today 7 eggs, maybe, during my feed window, maybe 8, and a couple slices of cheese, and some butter for cooking them, and I'll scramble them all up, and maybe some sriracha. I fucking love sriracha. If you don't, try sriracha. All right. Anyway, no ketchup. Ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, so if ketchup's your thing, ketchup is my favorite condiment. Don't do it. Stay away. All right. So that's really the deal. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna just be very experimental about this whole thing. Gauge the results tomorrow and go from there. So for those of you that are just tuning in to day 2 instead of watching an extra 10 minutes of day 1, basically, I'm a fat guy who wants to lose some weight. I'm a normal person. I am 37, and not particularly super physically active, and I weigh over 300 pounds. So, if you're struggling with weight, I feel you, man. I'm right there with you. So instead of listening to somebody, and I hope you tune into this channel, instead of listening to somebody who, is already lean and has a six pack and they want to talk about how they gained and lost weight and all this other stuff, I've been heavy for almost my whole entire life. Almost, I've struggled with my weight my whole entire life. I have. And, I'm one of you, I'm at the point where, before we started this, I'm hypertensive, my blood pressure, the first reading, which is systolic, it was in the, almost to the 150s. I'm pretty sure I haven't done the blood work, but, I'm definitely pre-diabetic, with that type 2, because it runs in my family, to be symptomatic for that. I'm a new dad. I got a 16-month-old baby, and both of my parents have died from cardiac related issues, and both of them led sedentary lifestyles. So if I'm going to be around to watch my kid, because I'm almost a geezer right now, by the time she turns 18, I shudder to think, I need to be around, and I won't be if I don't make some changes. And so that's my motivation. It's kind of selfish, but, I like life and I want to be alive. And hopefully, even though you have some ups and downs in your life, hopefully you find some reasons to stick around. Because doing what you're doing, if you're heavy, and maintaining that and ignoring the problem, it's slow suicide. It really is. And that's not me. So, and hopefully it's not you either. Some part of you wants to change or is interested in change, which is why, you've tuned into this channel. So some other stuff that I want you to look at, I want you to check out Dr. Fung's YouTube channel or posts. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's all over YouTube, talking about fasting. He doesn't really talk about ketogenesis so much, but he definitely he talks about fasting. You're gonna see a bunch of channels, but I'll tell you this: after a couple days of intermittent fasting, we're gonna do my blood pressure measurements and take a look at that. I'm anticipating that they're gonna drop, from 150. I expect them to be, in the 130 range, if not lower, after only like a week of doing this. So if you're hypertensive, and you're not intermittent fasting and you're not on a ketogenic diet, a low carb diet, you need to be. If you are a diabetic, if you have, let's talk about diabetes for a second, because I am definitely headed down that road, as maybe some of our viewers are. You got type 1 and type 2 diabetes, right? So type 1 diabetes is successfully managed through, the administration of insulin. Type 2 diabetes is when the body becomes resistant to insulin. Not that it doesn't produce enough, it just becomes resistant. And so type 2 diabetes, the doctors, they put you on metformin first, which is like a pill form of insulin management, and then they eventually give you the injections, and then the injection dosages get higher and higher. And what happens is, this abundance of insulin makes people fatter and fatter and fatter. So why? Insulin is a fat hormone. If you have an excess of insulin, guess what, buddy? You're gaining weight. You could be eating clean on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, doing moderate exercise, and you're still going to gain weight. And And it's not your fault. Your doctors set you on a path, set you up for failure. Now, I'm not a doctor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but do your own research. Type 1 diabetes is when the body doesn't sufficiently make enough insulin in sufficient quantities, and it needs to be supplemented. And that is very effectively treated with insulin. Type 2 diabetes is when you become insulin resistant, and that, intermittent fasting, and then eating a ketogenic diet, one or the other or both together. You take the power of each and put it together. Will manage that. It'll get you off your medications. It'll bring you down to a healthy weight, and hopefully this little video log will sort of kind of catalog that journey for me as an individual, and hopefully the goal is anyway that it will help one of you out there. All right. Last but not least, what am I eating today? Like I said, I'm going to scramble some eggs. I'm going to scramble some eggs and maybe throw some cheese on there. When you scramble the eggs, I just mix them up, man. I don't add cream or any of that shit, or heavy, or milk or any of that. Just scramble your damn eggs. Also, make sure that you take in enough salt. I'm feeling a little sluggish today, and I know that I've lost some water weight, so I need to take in a little bit of salt. I plan on making some bone broth. So think of all the money you're saving on food right now by fasting. Don't be cheap. Go to your store, wherever you go to, and buy some organic bone broth, you cheap son of a bitch. I looked at the price for it, and I'm thrifty, right? And I thought, oh, well, organic bone broth, why don't I just use bouillon cubes and save some cash? Look, with all the money I'm saving on all the crap food that I would be buying, don't skimp on bone broth. Buy some bottled water also, make sure that you're hydrated, you're taking in enough water. How much is enough water? It depends on you and how active you are. I live in Florida where it's hot and it's the middle of the summer, and I like to go outside, so 3/4 of a gallon. Think about it this way: the more water that you drink, it actually takes calories to process water. One of the things I want you to think about is the fact that your body tries to maintain homeostasis at around 98.6 degrees, okay? So by the time you drink water in, even if it's room temperature, so room temperature is what, 65, 70 degrees? By the time you piss it out, you're pissing out 98 degree water. And so that heat exchange, that transfer exchange, actually helps you continuously burn more calories than you would have otherwise. Now, this isn't just a calories in, calories out game, which is, why we're talking about fasting and ketogenesis. But every little bit helps. And when you take all the inches, that's what makes the difference between success and failure. So let's get it. And I'm at 14 minutes now, so I'm not going to make you listen to everything. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys are having a great day. If you haven't started your journey, start it today. It's never too late. All right? Thanks. Take care.